I'm just gonna be brutally honest, man. A lot of people today are grown-ass kids. You work around grown-ass kids. You live around grown-ass kids. You have grown-ass adults, but they act like children. They're a child at heart. You know, they're a child at heart. They're a grown person. They're a child at heart, and they're living in a grown person's body. Right? They're living in a grown person's body. And it's like, at work, in the workplace, you may think you're working with some professional adults. No, you're not. You are working around kids, right? But they're a grown human. They're in a grown person body, okay? But their mind is immature. Their heart is immature. Everything else about them is immature. And seeing how grown adults be acting, be behaving in public, you come to the realization that a lot of these people never truly grew up. They never grew up. They never really matured at all. And they do little kid stuff. And you think to yourself, man, you may have a 5-year-old at home and they act a lot better, behave a lot better, more mature than a 45-year-old person. A 7-year-old got more maturity in their left pinky than a 45-year-old got in their entire whole body. Okay, more maturity. Some people just got more grown up to do. And I'll admit for myself, like, I got some grown up to do, but I think I've come a long way when it comes to maturity and just being grown and being responsible for my own choices and being accountable for my own choices in life. And like, I don't blame people for what happens. I'm not the type of person to play victim. You know what I'm saying? I can take ownership of responsibility, and I'm able to control my emotions pretty well at 29. You know, I don't allow a lot of things to bother me very easily. You know, I'm someone that has progressed the contents of my character to a point where little stuff doesn't really affect me. Like somebody cutting me off in traffic. That's normal. Like I live in New Jersey. Like that is normal. For me to be going through that every single day, yeah. Someone rushing for me to turn right or turn left, and they're just, you know, they're in a rush to pass me by, and you know, they don't want to wait for me to make a turn, so they're gonna just rush me out the way. I'm used to all of that. That don't even bother me no more because I've seen it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I see it all the time. Like little weird stuff that people do on the road, it doesn't surprise me. You know, because I'm so accustomed to witnessing the dumb shit that people do on the road and how the way they drive. You know what I'm saying? If I was a cop, I'd probably pull some of these people over and check their license because they driving a little bit too funny on this road. You know? But, you know, the main point of me making this video is to address that a lot of people today, they enjoy conflict and they deny peace. You want peace, they want conflict. It's simple as that. And the reason why you had to cut off a lot of friends and a lot of family members is because you got tired of their conflict. You got tired of their toxicity. Their negativity was draining you. Their negativity was taking more from you instead of adding to your life, right? And when you figure out that people in your life are just really subtracting from your life more than they're adding, you're going to become bold and cut those people off, because you're gonna feel intrinsically, right? Like internally, right? I can't really, pronounce that other word, but internally, you're going to feel that something was taken away, was subtracted from you. And what was subtracted from you was energy, time, your joy, your peace of mind. Okay, a lot of the essentials was taken away from you from these energy vampires and people that drain you, because they got so much baggage and they got a lot of mess going on, and they feel like they can come to you because you can deal with their mess, because you're an empathetic person, right? You're an empathetic person that can take whatever people throw your way, essentially. You can handle people's baggage. And I'm somebody that has been able to handle people's baggage for a long time. But it gets very annoying after a while, man. After a while, it just becomes old, and you realize this person is subtracting more from my life than adding to it. And then once I come to the conclusion that they're subtracting from me, I gotta cut them off. I gotta delete their number. I gotta just stop, being around this person and entertaining their energy and entertaining their mess, because that's what I'm doing, right? It's not that you hate people. It's just you don't got that type of energy to handle their baggage. Because in the Bible it says that you have to take up your own cross. Take up your own cross and follow Jesus, right? Take it up daily. Your cross consists of a lot of trauma, a lot of hardship, a lot of pain, a lot of emotional turmoil. That's your cross. Your cross is a lot of baggage. In this day and age, we don't got time to be carrying around other people's crosses. You don't have the energy. You don't have the time. You don't got the room space to carry people's cross for them. They have to carry their cross for themselves. It's not your job to carry around people's crosses when you have your own cross to carry and to bear. It's an insult when people expect you to carry their cross. How do I look carrying two crosses at once? Mine's pretty heavy and yours is heavy. Hell, your cross probably weighs more than my cross. My cross weighs about 150. Your cross weighs about 280. And I'm carrying over 400 pounds of crosses on my shoulder, right? Two crosses that weigh about 450 something pounds each, all together. Carrying around 450 pounds of weight. That's too much. That's way too much to be carrying, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not able to carry around all of that weight on their back. Lord knows that I've done that. I've done held somebody's cross. I've done picked somebody up before. You know, ain't nothing wrong doing it. But you expect people from time to time to pick you up when you're down, when you're out, when you're going through a tough time. But after a while, it's like being around certain people, all they can bring to your life is conflict. All they can bring is conflict, and you are trying to bring the peace. But they've shown you time and time again, they don't want peace, they want conflict. They thrive off of conflict. There are people in your life that are your friends or family, co-workers, supervisors, whoever. They thrive off of conflict, right? They don't feel normal when it's peaceful. They feel that something is wrong in their own life when there is no ounce of conflict or toxicity, or there's no negativity in the air. So you gotta understand, a lot of energy vampires, demonic people, they like when there's negativity because they can feed off of it. That is their energy source: negativity, conflict, drama. That is the energy vampire's energy source. So they can find places of drama, conflict, chaos. They can feed off of it easily because that's who they are to the core, right? When there's too much peace and there's too much joy in a person's life, there's too much positivity roaming in the air, they can't feed off of that. They can't feed off of that because that is not their energy source. You understand? Positivity is not their energy source. Good news is not their energy source. You want to know what their energy source is? It's bad news. Bad news is their energy source. And if they can create anything out of conflict, if they can create anything and turn it into conflict, they will do that. They'll turn the smallest thing into conflict, and they'll magnify it with their own negative energy. So you guys have to understand, when you're dealing with an energy vampire, I might title this video an energy vampire, I might not, but they only thrive off of conflict. That's what they thrive off, and that is their energy source. So you have to be around individuals that want peace, that thrive in peace. And they don't look for anything negative. They don't look for conflict. And I'm pretty good at spotting out people that all they do is look for conflict and negativity into anything, any situation, any person, or anything. They're quick to look for the negative. I watch out for that. I watch out for people like that. You know what I'm saying? They're quick to, jump to conclusions on everybody and everything. They're so quick to be a Debbie Downer and to, think everything is bad news, right? Everything is doom and gloom. And to look at the negatives all the time. They pay attention too much to the negatives because that is their energy source. And it's a shame when there's a lot of family members that are like that and they thrive off of negativity. So something is not right in their life when it's too peaceful, when the atmosphere is it's too peaceful, it's positive, it's tranquility in the air. They can't really stand that, Me, I don't have that issue. I can be in complete tranquility, be at peace of mind, because every day I seek the Lord with a whole heart. I make progress in this walk, right? In my faith, in my belief in Christ, I make progress every single day following him and seeking him. So I know that in this path that I'm walking, there is peace. There is a peace of mind. And the Lord gives me the strength to deal with the bullshit. Excuse my French. But he gives me the strength, the resiliency to deal with the nonsense. Right? To put up with the BS. To weather the storm, because there isn't always going to be peace in life. You know, you see what's going on today. The government is in the midst of a shutdown, and people have gone nuts off their rockers because their EBT cards have been shut off. You know, the government is not giving these people funding for their food stamps. And we're seeing the true nature of a lot of human beings when their cushion is now being removed. And that cushion was food stamps. That cushion was government assistance, Section 8 housing. That was their cushion. So now they have every reason to complain about the government. Now they have all the reason in the world to blame the government and point the finger at the government and go to these stores and, you know, want to loot and steal and rob. I mean, that's what the government wants, you know. And these are the type of people that I'm referring to. You know, it kind of falls in line with the topic of this video. Those are the type of people that are going to want conflict and not peace, right? So if you really push the buttons of people's emotions and trigger those emotional buttons on their remote, right? People that collect food stamps, that got kids, they're not going to be looking for peace, man. Peace is the last thing that they want. What they want is food on the table for their children for Thanksgiving. Right? They want their EBT card to be filled right back up, you know, with money. So peace is not on their mind. It's more so even when these people, they get their way, they get their food stamps, they get their government assistance or Section 8 housing, everything is back in order. Right? The government is now back open. No more shutdown. Even when that happens, these people are not going to be at peace. Right? They're not going to be at peace even then. Even when things are going right in their own life, they're not going to be at peace. They're going to be still looking for conflict. Still going to be feeding off negativity. Because that's what energy vampires do. Okay? They feed off of negativity. So I'm here to call it out like it is, man. You know, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here dropping the jewels. Because I'm letting you know how human beings can be. And a lot of them are just a bunch of grown-ass children. They're a grown person, right? But they're a little kid at heart. They're just in a grown adult body. That's it. You know? For a lot of you 20-year-old, you know, not that, but like a lot of you people in your 20s, a lot of y'all in your 20s, y'all know how to act and behave more maturely than people that are in their 50s and 60s. Okay, y'all came a long way maturity-wise than someone in their 50s and 60s. And that's just a fact. You got a lot of little kids that are 6, 7, 8 years old, and they know how to act better and behave themselves way better than people in their 20s and 30s. It's quite sad, man, but yeah, that's just the conditions that we're seeing here with people. So, you know what I'm saying? I pretty much said enough there. And hopefully you got some insight and clarity from this message. And I want to say thank y'all for tuning in to another video. Make sure y'all hit the like button for the algorithm, and more content is to come. And thank y'all for watching. I'm out, and peace.